Hey, all right, Saturday football. Two teams a bit inconsistent. One of them is trying to struggle to find their place. The other one trying to struggle to find their place. We're talking Arsenal versus Norwich City. Arsenal fans are planning on boycotting because they're pissed that their team's in fourth. Tyrone?
I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say about this. Arsenal will win 3-1. Their fans will continue to be upset. I imagine there'll be some half-decent performances from the likes of Sanchez and maybe even Ramsey. Norwich, we all thought they were going to be turning it round, didn't we, about a month or so ago? And they have really tanked. You know, even your god, Robbie Brady, has not been able to bring too much out of them.
Robbie Brady's gone for me now.
Is he?
Yeah, no, he's out. He's out.
Understandable.
out.
Norwich have shown no fight at all. If you look at the two North East clubs, Sunderland and Newcastle, they've really been trying at least putting some shifts in. Their players have maybe too little too late. But Norwich, on the other hand, absolute opposite. I don't know what's happened. They look absolutely tanked. They look knackered. And they're going to go to the Emirates. And yeah, we don't know what Arsenal's going to turn up from one week to the next. But I see this as a 3-1. I think I might even be being a bit generous to Norwich, giving them a goal here. But yeah, 3-1 to Arsenal.
And you love Arsenal. Fair. And the fans justified. Do you think Arsenal's going to win this? Is it going to be
They're going to win it. Are they justified to protest? Fans are allowed to protest if they want to protest, justifiable or not. Some protests are bigger than others. I don't know. You're going to get fourth place. Yeah. Have a protest about that. Think about the teams that have been languishing in 9th and 10th that don't protest and don't expect more from their club. I don't know. I don't really want to get involved in it. It sickens me. Is this the game when Jack Wilshere returns? Is he going to come on and then announce to Roy Hodgson that he played better than Dele Alli in the last 3 games of the season? So therefore gets a starting berth, and Roy Hodgson goes, yes, you're right. You actually did play 100 times better than Dele Alli in the last 3 games of the season. So there you get to start. I don't know, probably. But it'll be 3-0 to Arsenal. This is the sort of game they just cruise. They'll cruise this 3-0. They'll get their fourth place. Wenger will stay, and we all go round again.
Edo, these guys are calling three goals each. What are you thinking?
3-0 as well.
Okay.
Because, everything we said about Norwich and West Brom, they failed to show up. I don't see much of a difference between this Norwich side and the one that went down, was it a couple of years ago with Leroy Fer?
Barely any difference, is there? Even in personnel,
Yeah, it's just because there are 3 worse teams than you. That's literally it. And it's true. Like, I mean, Leroy Fer, people were trying to skin him at one stage because he was playing so badly. He wasn't the only one. It was the year they bought in Van Wolfswinkel. Look how that turned out for them.
I loved him.
I loved his name.
He was so great.
Very nursery rhyme.
He was brilliant.
Sounds like a baddie. Wolfswinkel. Oh, Van Wolfswinkel's here.
He just needed a little twirly moustache. It would have been great.
Trying to go to a train track.
The only player wearing a top hat. It would have been.
Yes, Mr. Bond.
Horrible at headers.
Premier League regulation cloak.
And like a Bond villain, he eventually lost. So there you go. He had all of it. He scored on his debut, I think, his Premier League debut. So I had him in fantasy, and it was, what a great week. And then, rest of the season. Sorry, Ricky. But yeah, I do think that Arsenal's problems are more... Yeah, so I think the fans are completely right to be complaining. I'm really glad I'm a Chelsea fan because we've had ups and we've had downs, comparatively speaking, relatively speaking. But at least when we're up, we win the Champions League, we win the title. What have Arsenal done? And I'm furious because honestly, like Arsenal are, I grew up on Arsenal. And watching this, I'm sorry, this is completely unacceptable. Like, you've got to put more money into this team. Is it Wenger? Is it the board? Well, Wenger does seem to have sort of the jitters whenever he wants to buy a player. Okay, but this team is always 3 or 4 players short of competing. They're not necessarily great players, just people who are going to... Okay, so the Norwich game, we're talking about Norwich. What happened at Carrow Road? Sanchez's muscles were made out of what was left of like some chewing gum and some noodle sticks, and he still played him, and he got injured. And that's when you go, they're not going to win the title. Eventually he'll get a proper injury, and bizarrely, that kind of hasn't happened. He was injured for a bit, but didn't stay out that long. Yeah, this team falls apart, as it always does. Sorry, I'm quite angry about this because I have a lot of Arsenal friends. Obviously, I don't like them because I'm a Chelsea fan, but you wish them well.
There's got to be something going on with their fitness coach as well. They've got to fire that guy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of their response to the fact that Spurs have had no injuries was, oh, you've been lucky with injuries.
Yeah.
So, well, one man's lucky with injuries is another man just very well-conditioned players. Leicester and Spurs players have been conditioned all season not to get muscle injuries,
Yeah.
which is why they're able to play. You should be able to get through an entire season and play 35 games in the Premier League and not break, which they always seem to do.
Especially because they were taking the group stages in the Champions League as a kind of holiday before they realised they had to start playing. So it's not as if I completely agree with you. That's a great point.
Well, the panel has resoundingly agreed that it's going to be 3 goals. So when you add it together, you predict 9-1.
Yeah.
9-1 Arsenal.
Probably will be.
City. 9-1. Bet your house on it. Seriously, get your house and bet it right now. Make your own picks. Don't do that. At DraftKings.co.uk. Put together your own 11-man squad. Hey, you could win big. Welcome to the big time.